Most of the fear in your life comes from tiny predictions your brain makes before anything happens. Not the actual pain, not the actual risk, just the anticipation. That's why cold shower training, done correctly, is one of the greatest courage builders a human can practice. And I'm not talking about the usual turn it to cold and don't flinch influencer thing. I'm talking about the real protocol, the one nobody teaches, the one where you don't stay at the same temperature, the one where you get colder over time, the one where the fear shows up before you even step in because you know today is colder than yesterday. That's the one that works. Let's start with the mistake most people make. They find a cold setting they can tolerate and they stay there. That works for about a week, then the body adapts, the fear vanishes, the courage training stops. People don't understand. You're not training cold tolerance. You're training anticipatory fear. And anticipatory fear only appears when something is getting harder. So the real practice is simple. Every day, or every week, or every month, you turn the knob a little colder. Not drastically, not violently, just enough that when you see the shower tomorrow, you feel something. A flicker, a hesitation, a not today. That moment is the rep, and this is why starting warm doesn't matter. In fact, starting warm actually makes it easier, not harder. If you want to train courage, you want the fear to hit before your body touches any water at all. That's why starting cold is better. Because the hardest part is touching the knob when you already know today's dial position is colder than yesterday's. You are training the micro decision that happens before the action, the one your whole life hinges on. Do I do the thing I don't want to do, or do I avoid it? This is the courage that transfers everywhere, not the shock of the cold, but the choice before it. Here's what happens when you do this the right way. Day 1, cold, you hate it. Day 5, still cold, still hate it. Day 12, you're getting used to this temperature. Day 13, you turn the knob 2 millimeters further. Instant fear, same temperature shock as week 1, fresh again. Your nervous system goes, oh, he's not just enduring, he's advancing. And that advancement, that progression, is what keeps the fear alive, which keeps the courage alive. This is progressive overload for your fear system. Understand something. Your brain doesn't care if the cold is 15 degrees Celsius or 12 degrees Celsius or 9 degrees Celsius. Your brain cares if today is harder than yesterday. Courage is built at the edge of the envelope, wherever the edge is. It doesn't matter how cold the air is. What matters is that you stepped into something slightly worse than last time. You don't need extreme cold. You need incremental cold. Because incremental cold creates incremental courage, and courage compounds. And here's the part that makes this system brutally effective. The courage you use to turn the knob colder is the same courage behind. Saying something honest, posting your work, starting a business, taking responsibility, confronting a problem, choosing a harder task, breaking an addiction, leaving comfort behind. These are all the same structure. Fear, then action. By making the cold a little harder every day, you practice exactly that structure, not metaphorically, mechanically. You're literally rewiring the habit loop of fear, then avoidance into fear, then approach every single day. Let me tell you what actually changes in people who do this long enough. It's not the cold tolerance, that's trivial. What changes is identity. You become the kind of person who says, yeah, it's harder today, I'll do it anyway. And then that sentence spills everywhere else. You start turning the knob up in your life the same way you turn it down in the shower. The skill transfers. Just like learning to read transfers to every subject, just like strength transfers to every sport, courage transfers to every decision. Most people wait for courage to show up in a big moment. They think courage is cinematic, dramatic, some huge reveal of inner strength. No. Courage is microscopic. It's the millimeter of a knob. It's the thought, today is colder. It's the second before your foot touches the water. Those tiny decisions, multiplied, are what produce big outcomes. The fear doesn't care how small the difference is. If you turn the knob one click colder, fear returns instantly. The body predicts discomfort and the mind reacts with hesitation. This makes cold showers one of the most perfect fear training tools in existence. It's measurable, it's controllable, it's adjustable, it's safe, It's scalable, it produces real fear in 2 seconds, and it gives you a victory every morning before your day even starts. You win before breakfast, and that win affects everything. You don't keep going colder forever because you adapt. The fear fades. So you warm it back up, reset the baseline, and start the whole progression again. That reset, that return to comfort before stepping out of it again, is where courage is actually forged. It's how you ensure fear never disappears and growth never stops. Let's talk about transfer. If you train daily to step into something slightly more uncomfortable than yesterday, what do you think happens when you face a real challenge? Your brain recognizes the pattern. Oh, this is just another knob, another click, another slightly worse than yesterday. I know what to do. Your courage algorithm fires automatically. This is what people mean when they say, courage leaks into everything. It leaks because you keep practicing the source code of courage, action, in the presence of fear. At the start of this video, I said courage isn't born, it's trained. Not in dramatic moments, but in the smallest decisions. The people who never understand this are the ones who wait for courage to magically appear when life gets hard. The people who do understand this are the ones who build courage, one impossible feeling morning at a time. And one day, something will happen in your life. A hard conversation, a scary message, a bold move, and you'll act without hesitation. And only afterward, you'll realize you didn't suddenly become courageous. You became courageous millimeter by millimeter, the same way you turned the knob. If you want more long-form videos on courage, discipline, psychology, or the mechanics of self-control, share this with someone who needs to hear it, because your future doesn't arrive all at once. It arrives 1 degree colder than yesterday.